Yes, welcome along to episode 13 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Johnny Dineen, counting down to the 2024 Cheltenham Festival. And there's probably only one place to start, Johnny. The chase is on.
All right, yeah.
You got some onslaught after last week's show, Johnny.
Yeah, I did actually. It was slightly unexpected. I didn't think there was too many reading the same page as myself.
So, with the benefit of hindsight,
Yeah.
and after you got a tutorial from me on the chase last week,
yeah.
after watching the show all week, I'm sure you watched
I
it since.
I watched about 20 minutes of it one day, actually, yeah. Just to
Is there anything you want to say to
confirm
viewers?
the thoughts that I already had, yeah, absolutely.
You're sticking to your guns.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I wouldn't have that in my mind, that stuff. I like, look, that thing, and there's another programme there, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. There's show business, like that stuff. That's show business. That's like, basically, look, the bottom line here is, those programmes have budgets, if you know what I'm saying, okay?
Right.
So they're only going to give out a certain amount of money in an entire year. So basically somebody's going to come into a board meeting at the end of a programme like The Chase and say, okay, we were going to give out £1 million, say, okay, just pick a figure, but there was some very clever lads in The Chase this year, so we gave out 2. That's not going to happen. Like that, those things don't happen. Same with
You're a real skeptic, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like, put it this way, I'm betting all my life, say, so I'm used to put my leg into mines and getting caught in traps. So I'm always,
Like the three-card trick.
always on the lookout for those things. And I'm okay, you might say I'm a conspiracy theorist or a skeptic or whatever the word is. I look at things maybe slightly differently to others, and I look at the programs like The Chase.
So Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? What's wrong with that? That's just people answering questions. How could it be fixed?
Well, it's not. I'm not saying it's fake, but there is a limit on what certain people are going to be allowed to win. Do you know what I'm saying? There is a budget that they're going to give out.
Do you think so?
Do I think so? Remember the fella in the army that won £1 million? Yeah. Okay. They stripped him, searched him anyway when he won. Okay.
Yeah, but rightly so.
Okay. Listen. This is what I'm saying to you is it wasn't part of the plan.
Like Aidan O'Brien now.
That he was going to win the million. So they knew for certain he had to be at something.
No.
Yeah. Exactly.
No. Johnny, did you watch that show? Captain, what was his name?
I don't know.
We'll think of his name by the end of the show.
He lost his job and everything over it. Like,
of course he did. But Johnny, the reason being, it wasn't because, at the end of him winning his £1 million, they said, oh God, we can't give away $1 million. It's the fact that he would start a question and they'd say, what's the capital of France? And he'd go, oh God, I haven't a clue. I think it's Dublin. And then all of a sudden he goes, no, it's definitely Paris, because he's hearing the coughs in the crowd.
Yeah, okay.
So that had nothing to do with budgets. That was cheating.
But what I'm saying is, okay, he was cheating, maybe, okay.
Right,
maybe,
so bad example.
Maybe
okay.
so. No, it's not.
Give me another example.
What I'm saying is, there is budgets in these programs, and they give out a certain amount of money. Put it this way: if you are on something like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right, and you're really, I've seen some really clever fellas on it, right?
Oh, thanks, Johnny.
Okay,
Thanks.
okay.
You put me up there with them.
No, but yeah. But what they do with the really clever fellas, they get up to say 16 or 32,000, okay?
And they ask an impossible question.
They ask him a question, they put him away in one go. Good luck, right?
Do you think
Good
so?
night and God bless. End of
So
story.
you don't think the questions that are coming in are random? So you think somebody gets to 32,000 and they say, oh, no lifeline's gone. Now no lifeline's gone. Listen to me.
Yes.
No lifeline's gone. They say, okay, we're going to give him a perler of a question now to get rid of him.
Absolutely.
You don't think the questions are chosen?
No,
before
I think that your man is looking to say green, yellow, red, and the reds were the really hard ones, and he said, this guy is good. It's time for the red. And give him a question that if you had 50 fellas with him, he wouldn't win.
Johnny, I hope you're wrong.
I
hope you're wrong.
I like watching programs like Mastermind. So, you know the.
So why?
Because there's no money in this. They're playing for prestige. Celebrity or Countdown is good.
You're going to say Celebrity Big Brother there.
No, that's rubbish. This thing, University Challenge. You know them kind of programs. No, I wouldn't know any of the answers. Okay, but at least.
What do you watch it for then? What do you watch it for then?
It's kosher. I'd like to see clever fellas on programs that when I think there's no way there's skullduggery at foot. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm watching something like Countdown, they're playing for nothing, basically. They're playing for prestige. If you watch a program like what's that celebrity? It's not celebrity.
Your celebrity
university thing. Okay.
University Challenge.
Yeah, they're all real clever fellas in that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their programs where they're like Mastermind is a great show. Like,
right.
but again, it's not much fun when you don't know any of the answers, really. Do you know what I mean? But it is to look at fellas. And then they can.
You don't even understand the questions. Never mind trying to find the answers.
With like my chosen specialised subject is Renaissance art between 1880 and 1940. Yeah. So I'm in trouble. Like,
before we move on, very quickly on University Challenge, right? I used to live with 3 people from Cork and Smithfield years ago, And was it on a Monday night or Tuesday night, is it?
I don't even know what.
But we used to do this competition where every week we'd see who could answer the most questions, so to keep score of the four of us, every week. Sure, two would win it, if you got two right.
Yeah. No, the questions are difficult. No, they are hard. But I think the other thing is show. It's a bit like, do you know what? To me, the chase reminds me of. Do you know what, for James Bond, and he comes in and he sees the chaser will always pip your man by a short head, won't he?
No.
Just do him on the line. It's a load of rubbish.
No.
Go way out of that. It's nonsense.
He doesn't always, but they win sometimes.
They do. They win small.
No, I've seen them win big.
Yeah, but they win big. But they're allowed to win big.
You're going back to your budget now.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, do you know when James Bond comes in and he sees there's 30 seconds left in this clock and the whole world's going to blow up and he eventually pulls the red thing out and he's saved by a second. That's the chase. That's what that is like. It's absolute fiction. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think it is anyway. It's show business, basically. And there's money involved. So they have to give out money, of course, because if they didn't give out money, nobody would watch it. But so they have to give it out on their own terms, though.
Okay. You're after spoiling a childhood and an adulthood for me there, Johnny, so you have...
I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it all wrong, but I'd be suspicious of it now. Very suspicious
Very
of it.
suspicious.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, on that bombshell, Upping The Ante viewers, let's get on with the show. Did you know you can now watch replays on the Racing Post app? It is life-changing, as I said last week. You can watch replays on the Racing Post app. You can watch closing stages. You can watch the full race. You can do what you want. Get on the Racing Post app. Become a member of the Racing Post Members Club. And do it quick, because the Cheltenham Festival is fast approaching and you need to be able to watch them replays. They're now on the Racing Post app. Enough of quiz shows, right?
Go on.
You've ruined my life. Enough of quiz shows, okay? First question this week comes in from Fergal O'Neill. And Fergal wants to know, on the chase... I know, I'm only joking. Fergal wants to know, what are our top three shocks in Cheltenham Festival history? The three results, our top three results, where we've been totally gobsmacked by a result or a performance, okay? So top three. Look, top three times you've been gobsmacked, Johnny.
I suppose... I could have put up 101 shots today, but I'm just talking where I'm from my own personal point of view, looking at a race where you could hardly draw a breath after it.
You went that way, okay.
Yeah, do you know that kind of, rather than saying Norton's coin 100 to 1 and some other thing at 80 to 1, that kind of stuff.
That's the way you interpret it. I went a different way now. I went with, I couldn't envisage that before the race.
Yeah.
So who's your number three?
Some of mine are I couldn't envisage it during the race.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's fine. Number three.
The first one I'll give to you is the one I couldn't envisage before the race. That was Belfast Banter winning a county hurdle in
2022.
Was it 2021, I'd say?
Maybe
Probably.
2021.
Yeah, I guess in 2021.
Yeah, it was COVID,
yeah. Look, he'd been running in, I'd say I'd backed him in 4 or 5 maiden hurdles, couldn't win any. I'd say he'd been beaten in about 10 maiden hurdles.
Ran in Galway, yeah.
Finished up falling in against Jevry, who wants about 9 miles in the Galway maiden hurdle. Then ran 3 or 4 times against Sin after that, and then landed in the county hurdle 33 to 1. I wouldn't have backed that at zillion now, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I just first of all, he was finding nothing in races as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's the one track he couldn't possibly win would be in Cheltenham, you'd be thinking. And next thing he pops up 33 to 1, you'd be saying to himself, I just said to myself, how in God's name
did that happen?
Win?
Okay.
You could give that absolutely none.
My number 3 is actually last year's festival. It's Sire de Burleigh. And a shout out here to Ben Hutton, our spotlight writer in the Racing Post. Remember, you get to see the spotlights on the Racing Post. So you pick up the Racing Post and the little comments about each horse, and then you have a verdict. And I seen Sire de Burleigh, and I think, I could be wrong here, I think he was napped by Ben Hutton going into last year's Stayers hurdle. He was 80 to 1 at the time when he napped him, when I saw it the night before. And I just said, this is embarrassing. I'm actually half embarrassed to work for a paper where somebody napped Sire de Burleigh. And I had done stable tours with Gordon Elliott. I'd been out in his yard the week before, ahead of the festival. And they gave the horse no chance, really, do you know?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, even as it was happening, Tehupu seemed to be travelling better, and you kind of go, he'll finish third or fourth, and then he ended up winning the bloody thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy God, how did that actually happen? So Sire de Burleigh is my number 3. Who's your number 2?
Number 2 for me was like, you could see it before the race, but you couldn't envisage it during the race, was Champ winning that RSA chase against the...
Who are you on, Allaho and Minilindo?
I was on both of them to make it work. I was on Minilindo.
Only you could be on both of them.
I was on Minilindo and Allaho, saved in Allaho, more than saved in it actually, but I wanted Minilindo for my money, and Allaho was fine as well. I was winning in either way, but I was winning more if Manila. But I was only cheering Manila Indo because it was a 2-horse race coming to the last. And next thing he kind of got the last bit wrong, and then on the run, even on the running, you couldn't even see Champ. But the minute he poked his head into the picture, you're saying, "Oh my God, here he comes!" And I said, "Where's the line?" And next thing, bang, beat. But it was like one of those ones where you. Like,
how are you feeling after the race?
Oh, standing count, disgusted, because I was having a bad meeting as well, but it got even worse after. I had a real bad meeting that year, real bad luck in that meeting as well. And I would luck counts for a lot in gambling too, a lot. You need luck. You need I backed the winner yesterday. Do hello Tommy, you fed it to last. Do you know what I mean? Left it in to win. So luck. If your luck is out, no matter what you're doing, if your luck is out, okay, you fellas will say your luck should balance out over the year. But if your luck is out in a particular day or week or whatever, it can make a big difference.
It was I don't think I've ever seen a race. Well, I suppose you could go with Native Dara and What's Up Boys maybe, where a race changed complex so utterly in the last 100 yards.
Yeah.
As that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was RSA at the time.
It was RSA, I think. Yeah. So
who sponsors it now?
Brown Advisory. Yeah.
Very good. So he did his homework.
It was just one of those ones where you'd say, "Oh my God," do you know what I mean?
How did that actually happen?
Because I was in the comfort zone because I had both covered, both avenues covered. You know, that kind of way.
Do you know what? I actually bagged Champ that year, and I tipped him on this show.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I think it was my last winner of the show. So that's your number 2. My number 2 is another Stayers hurdle. Stayers hurdle seems to be the race of shocks. Lisnagar Oscar, 50-1. How Lisnagar Oscar could win the Stayers hurdle? Now, I know you look back at it now and you say, wasn't a great bunch, but Lisnagar Oscar, I was scratching my head that day, wondering how on earth Lisnagar Oscar could win the Stayers hurdle. I think Paisley Park was a short price favourite that year. I think he was favourite a lot of years.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get my head around that. Lisnagar Oscar winning the Stayers hurdle. So Johnny Dineen, number 1, the one time you've been speechless after a race at Cheltenham.
Speechless for me. Again, you could see this winning pre-race. I mean, I was making a book at that meeting this time, and I remember making a book, good betting around this time as well. I say it was 2012. I remember laying this horse. I laid Ruby Light, or laid. There was about 3 or 4 horses in the betting in this race, and even should lay.
You want to tell us the name?
Riverside Theatre in the Ryanair chase.
What a ride!
Incredible, yeah. From as very early as the first fence, you wouldn't like to be on him, and the second fence, in my eyes, he was beat. Yeah. He had no chance. He was pushing the head off him and shoving him in it. But I actually watched it yesterday just to refresh it again. You know, refresh my memory, because sometimes your memory plays tricks with you. But what a ride it got! Because at about 10 different stages in the race, you'd say he's going to drop out. He was never going well. But Geraghty held his position at about 5 fences in a row, where other fellas would have been crowded out and been put out of the race. He was having none of that. He was saying, "Lads, I'm staying here. You get out of the way," and he kept them involved. But even after all that, you had McCoy in front of you. If you wanted him beat.
What did he beat? Alberta's Run, was it?
Alberta's Run, yeah. And Meadormit was coming up the wrong side, of course. But Alberta's Run did everything right.
Yeah.
And your man still rallied him. And even on the running, you'd say, I'm okay. He's going to run it blinder after doing everything wrong, but I haven't beat. And next thing, he got a rally out of him, a re-rally, and bang, up on the line.
Bad result for you that day?
Disaster, yeah. But even worse, because you think you have your money in the bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're I was watching 3 horses in the race. I wasn't even watching him. I was watching the other ones, because I was saying he cannot win anyway. No matter because he was in such a state early on that sometimes horses get back into races, but eventually they fizzle out of it again. But that was I'd say no. We were on about ride of the year or ride of Cheltenham. That didn't go back as far as that. That was probably the best ride I've ever seen at Cheltenham.
Wow, there you go. Riverside Theatre, Barry Geraghty in the Ryanair chase is the one time Johnny was totally speechless. Mine is not a massive shock, but I still cannot believe Eyecatcher won a champion hurdle. He was only 10-1 on the day. I know he won at Wincanton. I know he won a Triumph hurdle. But I remember all season thinking, this cannot happen. Eyecatcher cannot win a champion hurdle. I remember Sizing Europe went off, I think, 2-1 favourite that day.
All right,
and everything was going beautifully. I think Andrew McNamara rode him coming out to second last, and then he put his back out, I think, or something like that. And Eyecatcher ended up beating Osana. It was just a real poor race when you took Sizing Europe out of it. But I remember thinking, going into that year, Eyecatcher was the one horse at Cheltenham that couldn't win. And he won.
Right,
so
okay,
I'll show you. I was still getting it wrong back then, Johnny, all those years ago. I think it was 2008. That was the one result that totally shocked me, Eyecatcher winning a champion hurdle. But Johnny Dineen was totally gobsmacked when Barry Geraghty somehow got Riverside Theatre up in the Ryanair. Our second question this week comes in from Jeff Lynch. I love this one, Johnny. Love this one, okay? If me or you owned a horse, what would we call it? Would you name it after its breeding? Would you name it after a family member? Maybe Susan.
Right.
Or would you name it after something else? Okay. So how would you name your horse? Have you got a kind of something in your head from for years now that you'd love to name a horse a certain?
Yeah, look, I mean, you could name a horse after maybe a character that you know or whatever like that.
Yeah.
I like the way Coolmore name horses with just maybe one word. I like one word names on horses actually. You know.
Zillion.
Yeah, they could call it something like that. But
I'm telling you now, right? What I guarantee in the next 2 years, if Aidan watches the show or John or Michael or Derek, they will name a horse Zillion because they've named. Have they had a million? Have they named one something million? They've named something sums of money. I have a feeling they're going to name one Zillion.
Yeah, maybe. Look, I like the way they put a bit of thought into it. Like, put it this way, I never get like naming horses after the sire and the dam. Like a horse by Milan out of Mary's Girl, next thing Milan Girl. You know what I mean? Like, geez, like give us
Put a bit of thought into
exactly.
it.
Or or Balanishka Boy, or this kind of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Or you know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Johnny's Girl. Like, Jesus, give us a break. You know what I mean? Like
You've had a few of them.
Yeah, but but what I'm saying is like that there's no thought whatsoever goes into these things. You know what I mean? And I do think a horse like Ballylooby, Booby or something like that is destined for the scrap heap, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? With a name like that, do you know what I'm saying? Those kind of things. Like
yeah, well, that's you're not going to like mine.
They're never going to be any good.
Okay.
Look, I'd go with maybe a one-word name.
Go on. What have you got for
a
us?
one-word name. Given the
some
current topic, I'd call my horse Chaste, because I think now that it would remind me of
Chaste,
Chased, because to me, there's a chase is a new definition in my eyes. Anyway, when you're getting chased now, you're actually getting the wool pulled over your eyes. I think anyway. So I'm going to call my little horse Chaste.
Chaste. I wasn't expecting that. Okay,
Yeah.
Chaste.
But I looked up a few names, and that wasn't taken. So I had to.
You
did.
proper thought.
I did actually. I was going to call one after you, but it was already taken.
What was it?
Innocence. Because you still believe all that stuff, don't you?
Innocence.
If there's ever a movie made about you, do you know who'll be playing you?
Who?
What's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis. Remember he came out of the court playing Jerry Conlon?
Oh, yeah.
I'm an innocent man. Because you are an innocent man.
Innocence. We look out for an innocence in the next couple of years. You know, now I'm a bit childish with mine. Okay.
Right. Okay.
I have thought for years. I wanted to name a horse, and sometime, hopefully in the future, I will own a horse. I would love to own a horse and call it Not a Clue What That Is. That's what I want to call it. It just fits in 16 characters.
Okay.
Not a clue what that is. What do you think of that name?
Yeah, look, you have those words like let's be clear about it and let's think about it and
No, you haven't got it yet though. Not a clue what that is, right? So my theory is, right, Jerry Hannum won't like this, or John Hunt or whoever, right? Because imagine you're in the Gold Cup, right? And everybody is watching our Grand National and it's Conor Star followed by Denman and not a clue what that is. They'd be all like, oh my God, that commentator's terrible, isn't he? He doesn't even know what the horse is.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think it would fit in beautifully, and it'd just annoy so many people to call a horse not a clue what that is.
Okay, yeah.
Do you see where I'm going?
I do actually, yeah. I didn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, you don't like it.
I hadn't thought of it that way. Like, I as I said, I'd go for like I do think that particularly Coolmore put a lot of thought into naming horses, and you can see like they don't use a lot of letters.
No.
But the word like a yesterday or a Tuesday, or do you know what I mean? I think they're classy names.
Okay, there we go. So it's Chased versus not a clue what that is in the 2027 Cheltenham Gold Cup. We look forward to that one. Yeah. Probably in the cellar in Bellewstown, I'd say.
That's it.
That was a great question this week, Johnny. That's what we name our horses. And our final question this week comes in from Kevin Farrell. And Kevin says, is Stay Away Faye not a good thing for the Brown Advisory after its fine effort against Gold Cup contenders in the Cotswold Chase at Cheltenham at the weekend? How on earth, Johnny Dineen, is he still 5-1 with Bet365 for the Brown Advisory?
Yeah,
is this a good thing? Stay Away Faye?
He's not a good thing. No, is he a good thing? But he probably has his chance. But like he still has to contend with the likes of Factor Foyle, Grange, Clare, West. Yeah. He's got Monty Starr is going to be in
Corvus
there.
Cross,
maybe.
Who I made a mistake by the way in last week's show. I said he was only in the.
Yeah, that's right.
What I meant is he's only JP's only entry in the national.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Embassy
apologies.
Gardens is in it. Grey Dawning is in it. So that's a deep race. I mean, there's no way is he a good thing. But one thing that staggered me, actually, no, I never even look at these things, but I happened to notice it. I was looking at my phone on the way up. He got, he was raised £9 by the handicapper to 159. Now, if the handicapper is right, he must have a great chance in a race like the RSA.
Well, last year's winner, the Real Whacker, I think, was rated 153 going into the race.
Like I'd say 159, he would probably win a lot of it, of editions of it. To me, he looks a bit on the slow side. To me, I don't know. I might be reading the horse wrong.
Well, it's 3 miles.
Yeah, I know it is, but he just looks a bit slow, and he looked to me to run a small bit in snatches the other day.
Yeah, he did.
Him and quite a few other horses in that race. At different stages in that race, there were none of them horses going that particularly well.
Mental race, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. Like, you could have said Ahoy Senor looked the winner at one stage.
Turning in, you think he has to be first or second.
Yeah, and then he fizzled out of it. My reading of Stay Away Phase is he's a decent horse, he's a good horse. I'd say you could see cheek pieces on him at some stage. He's no way is he a good thing anyway. No way is he a good thing. I actually don't fancy him myself, to be honest. I don't fancy him because I do think one thing. I think if you had a real, genuine top winner of the RSA, they'd have won that Cotswold Chase.
Like Factifile, maybe?
Maybe so, but I think the likes of like Thistlecracks, Coney, Grease, them kind of horses have won no problem going into novice company and out or from novice into open age.
As in, he's not a superstar then?
I wouldn't think so, and I would have said he's very vulnerable in the RSA Chase. I wouldn't fancy him at all, to be honest.
Okay, that changed very quickly there at the end.
And he's far from a good thing anyway. Like, I think Grey Dawning will beat him for starters.
Okay. If I was to say to you that Stay Away Faye won the 2024 Brown Advisory and the 2025 Gold Cup, what would you say?
I would say, as Jerry Conlon said, you're an innocent man.
No chance of him doing that big double.
None in the wide earthly world. None in the wide earthly world, no. No chance. No chance. No chance in the world. Absolutely none. Whatever about winning the RSA, that running
Brown Advisory.
Brown Advisory, Cotswold Chase, he'll never win a Gold Cup anyway.
Never.
Not a hope.
But he's trained by the Master, Johnny. Master of Gold Cup winners.
I don't care who he's trained by. It doesn't make a difference. He hasn't got the raw ability to win it, in my opinion. Anyway.
Okay. There you go, Kevin. Under no circumstances is Stay Away Faye a good thing for the Brown Advisory, and under no circumstance whatsoever is he ever winning a Gold Cup, according to Johnny Dineen. So it's performance of the week time here on Up in the Ante, where Johnny Dineen counts down his top 3 performances of the last 7 days. And Johnny, you probably could have had a top 10 this week.
Yeah, there was a lot of great races this weekend.
Was it tough? Give us some notable omissions, maybe horses that didn't make your top 3 but went close.
Like, I suppose like Embassy Gardens was quite impressive in Naas.
Didn't make it?
No. Ashrow Diamond did well to win.
Didn't make it?
No good. What else was there? There was races in Cheltenham.
Ginny's Destiny sneak in?
No, it didn't either. Yeah, no, it didn't either. No, like, that's what I'm saying. On another week, those horses could even be number 1. But this week there was. I even said to you last week, the quality of racing this weekend is fantastic. Okay. Like particularly in England. And look, you could have stuck in 4 or 5 horses, but there was a few stickouts at the same time. I mean,
okay, number 3.
No, number 3 was Jade de Grugy. That won that mare's race, and I'd say it's spelling trouble for your little mare now. I'd say Dice Sardinas. I'd say, like, I know.
Excuse me, we're scared of nobody, right?
Okay.
Me and Ferg, we're getting our first festival winner together.
Joint celebration. Yeah, £5 is going to be a help to you. The £5 is going to be a help.
She was good. Now I was working in Ferryhouse on Saturday. She was good.
She was very impressive. Yeah, very impressive from the back of the second last hurdle, I thought anyway. Put that race to bed very easily and jumped well, did everything right. She looked a decent mare in Leopardstown as well. So look.
I have one worry for her though, Johnny. Again, like speed would be the little thing that we're like. Dice Sardinos is a much quicker horse than Jade de Grugy. She won a 2.5 mile maiden hurdle through stamina more than anything at Leopardstown. 2 mile 2 at Ferryhouse the other day. Her strongest furlong always seems to be her last furlong, which is good. But Johnny, I'm petrified yet. Yeah,
but no, the one thing I would say against that is that she didn't have any problem lying up in either race. She was second in one and made the running in the other. You know what I mean? So I'd say the one thing that she mightn't want is like being French bred. She mightn't want the ground too quick. You know what I mean? So she probably wants soft.
Good race now, isn't it? Dice Sardinos, Brighter Days Ahead, and Jade de Grugy.
Brighter Days Ahead. It's kind of like
of those 3, who would you prefer?
Jade de Grugy, I think.
Would Dice Sardinos be bottom of those 3?
No, I'd say number 2. Okay. I think Brighter Days Ahead might be the bottom one of the 3.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Oh, there's a big chance. Yeah, of course you have a chance. And the £5 is.
What did you make of Dice Sardinos?
Look, sure, all they had was a school round. You know what I mean? it had a school run, but it's been targeted like at the race and it's been campaigned properly. So it's arriving there with minus the £5, so that's a massive help to her.
Maybe me tipping her adds the £5.
I know, I wouldn't say that. Look, she has a great chance. Of course she has. She's
crossed.
going to be there or thereabouts.
Okay, so number 3 was Jade the Grugy. Number 2?
Number 2, I would have put Lassie Mout.
Number 2 only?
Yeah, look,
okay.
I'd say fellas would say, oh, how is she not number 1? But the reason she's not number 1 for me is that she didn't really do anything that I didn't kind of half anticipate.
You were very strong on her going to
Well, I thought she'd probably win, but like she was getting £10 off Rubo, who wouldn't even worth an entry in the champion hurdle, and she was getting some sort of weight off of £2, I think. That was £1 or something like that. And she was actually given that weight, wasn't she, only for the intervention
was the whole
of
scandal,
Tony Calvin and Kevin Blake and them fellas. They noticed that which was a fair spot. Now I wouldn't look at those things in a million years, but she was actually getting weight off Love Envy in the finish, who would be like unpriceable for a champion hurdle, wouldn't it? Like you could make up your own figure, couldn't you? The national debt multiplied by 20.
She's a lovely mare.
Yeah, absolutely. But like
I'd love to own her.
In a champion hurdle, she wouldn't have a prayer. You know what I mean? At the same time, so she didn't really do.
You know, Matt Williams is in Love Envy.
What?
You know Matty Williams?
Is he sharing it? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, she ran a blinder there last year, and back in the 2.5 mile race, she'll probably run well in the mares hurdle. Probably, albeit, could be a stronger race this year. But it's hard to see her ever beating Lassie Mout, isn't it? Really, to be over any distance. And Lassie Mout came there swinging and won. Like, she did win the Triumph Hurdle, so you'd have to expect her at her best. She was 4-7 at the same time. Yeah. No, she did win with a real swagger at the same time. But Love Envy mightn't be as good as it was last year either. And Rubo is a good handicap.
So Lassie Mout is odds on now for 2.5 mile mares hurdle.
Yeah.
Is there too much of a difference in the price between Lassie Mout and Ashra Diamond?
Look, on the back of what she did last Saturday, you would be low to oppose her, wouldn't you? I think you would anyway. Okay. I mean, some fellas are hanging on to a thread that she mightn't get the trip, but Triumph Hurdle winners have a really good record going up in distance. Yeah. And like if she's possible, not alone she stayed, she can even be better at 2.5 miles. So her jumping is really clean. She's going to be first string, I'd say, as absolute certainty, and she's going to run in the race. So look, I wouldn't be in a rush to oppose her anyway, to be honest.
So that's the 3 and the 2. Complete our top 3, Johnny. Who's number 1?
Number 1 was obvious, and I think everyone will pick it. It's Sergino in the won the Triumph Hurdle trial there. That was absolutely. No, I didn't have a bet in the race. I didn't know which one of them to back, to be honest. But that was explosive. So
you're pals with Joe Donnelly. What was he expecting before the race? You know.
I didn't even ring him because his wife got a fall or something, and he wasn't there. I don't think. But no, she's okay, and it's really minor thing. But he wasn't there. But. I know that he was getting the impression that it was a fairly decent horse. I didn't get the impression it was as good as that at the same time. You know what I mean? But look, it was up against Boarded Road, and you didn't really know how good that was either. But it was like a question of like it didn't have put it to the sword, did it? Like to me, it put a stamp on the Triumph Hurdle as case closed. Even like I couldn't see that get beat.
Even ahead of this weekend.
I couldn't care what runs this weekend.
You could have Salvatore Mundi, who ran against Sergino in France.
Yeah, but Sergino's already beaten that, and Salvatore Mundi is going to have like maximum 1 run. Probably go there as could even be going there as a maiden. Mightn't even go there at all. Yeah. I mean, there's the same people own the same.
What about Stormheart?
Look, if Stormheart came along and said you won by 12 lengths, you'd have to have a rethink. But as it stands, and without a spellbinding performance next week, I couldn't see any danger to Sergino. He's got track form, and he was jumping was immaculate, and he was really, really strong from the back of the last. To me, it was like Constitution Hill kind of stuff, wasn't it? Like, you know what I mean? It was like he could be an absolute. No, he probably won't.
Jesus, Johnny.
Well, I'd say, like, put it this way.
Big statement.
Put it this way. You wouldn't like to be laying for next year's Arkle Chase, would you?
No, but to say it was like Constitution Hill we're not going to get another Constitution Hill.
But who says that? Should we say that about See the Stars? Next thing Frankel came, or else the other way around, wouldn't it?
It's a bit early to be calling Sergino See the Stars.
No, but I'm just saying, they said, which was before who? See the Stars or Frankel? Who was first?
See the Stars was first.
And when they said there wouldn't be a horse as good as him and next thing Frankel arrived.
Yeah.
So you can never get horses. There's no problem getting horses in quick succession. You might get another horse like him for 10 years. But on what he did last week, I'd say he's a surefire winner at Triumph Hurdle. And like, I don't know, maybe going novice chasing next season. I'm not to be for too many races anyway. I put it this way, I won't be backing against Sergino in a hurry anyway in any contest.
Well, wasn't expecting that today. Johnny comparing Sergino to Constitution Hill, but there you go. That's how good he thinks he might be. And the Triumph Hurdle is over. So, Sergino, the next Constitution Hill, according to Johnny. You're in some form today, Johnny. You're not hanging back.
No,
it's black or white today.
My tablets are working.
Yeah, it's black or white today.
They're
so
clearly working, yeah.
So that was Johnny Dineen's performance of the week. We have another Constitution Hill on our hands. What was your eye catcher of the week, Johnny?
My eye catcher is actually a winner this week, and I normally put up on the speed, but my eye catcher was a horse called Les's Destiny Star. It won the bumper in Doncaster on Sunday.
Okay.
Ben Pauling. I think Ben Jones. Ben Jones is a good rider, that fella.
And good trainer, good rider.
Oh, Ben Pauling's a great trainer, yeah.
He's a few good jockeys, because Ben Jones is a good rider and Keelan Wood's a great jockey.
Keelan Woods is injured.
Yeah.
At the
Well, no, he's
not
suspended.
Yeah,
Suspended,
sorry.
yeah.
But no,
he got a damnable ban.
I like the look of Ben Jones now. I don't do much wrong. I've seen him even there yesterday in races. And
sounds like he should be playing right back for Liverpool, shouldn't he?
or maybe playing with Wales or something in rugby or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But no, he's good. He's good. Horse back from 6-1 to 6-5 in a bumper that looked.
What price did you get?
I didn't back it at all. I actually laid it in running because that's why I think it ran so well, because it was as free as the wind. And there was a horse went off in front, belonged to Fergal O'Brien Gouache or something, and that was quite keen. And this thing kind of went up and raced him for a long time, and then went out wide and was still keen. And he brought him to the stand side. Like I think he used his noggin like to keep to come on the rail anyway. Do you know what I mean? and he kept it together well, and it stuck it out well, and won a couple of lengths. But the bad race either. Like I like the fact that they backed him. I like the fact that he cost plenty as a store. He was 150 grand horse, so he's not by something in the side of the road. Or, you know what I mean? He's by Blue Brazil. I'd say he's a good horse. No, I'd say he's a horse that probably has a lot of raw ability.
We're not talking champion bumper right now, we know.
I'd say you're talking about maybe not even running anymore this year.
Okay.
And next time you'll see him in the maiden hurdle in Newbury next November, maybe, you know, that kind of way.
It's a stable that it's getting there, like it's going to the top level, isn't it?
It's a stable that has no shortage of people that are willing to put their money where their mouth is.
He was with Henderson, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Because did I watch some video there the other day, and Henderson, Riverside Theatre, that race, I had to watch that yesterday, and when he got up, you see Pauling running, hugging some fella, running down the sand.
Chute.
Yeah. Some fella jumping into his arms. It was Ben Pauling, yeah. So he was obviously at Henderson.
Was Riverside Theatre was the horse that won your man all the money, didn't he? In Henderson's.
No,
that was that year, was it?
It could have been the year, but the horse that won all the money was Finian's Rainbow.
Oh, Finian's Rainbow, okay.
But Henderson, or that horse was belonged to the actor Nesbitt, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jimmy Nesbitt.
Is it Jimmy? Yeah, Jimmy Nesbitt is right.
Nesbitt,
yeah.
Johnny, you're doubting me a lot these weeks. Then.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Jimmy Nesbitt.
I'm not.
I told you what happens in the chase, and it's definitely Jimmy Nesbitt.
No, it is Jimmy Nesbitt. It is right. Yeah. No, it wouldn't be great meant for the movies, the stuff. No, you know what I mean. But
or game shows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, listen. What was I talking about? I can't even remember. What was it? Oh, Ben Pauling, yeah.
How did we get to that?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to Riverside
Ben Pauling has, like, they have people, the Megsons, they're able to put their money where their mouth is, like, so if there is a trainer on the up in England, I'd say it's probably him.
And I think that's 2 weeks in a row you've gone for a Ben Pauling eye catcher. Well, your eye catcher in the paper on Saturday was Reckless Eric.
Oh, right, yeah. That's horse belonging to the Megsons, actually. No, it's inevitable that he will arrive on big horses, I'd say.
Okay, so the name of your eye catcher of the week again is
Les's Destiny. He's owned by a fella called Leslie Delahaye, or Les Delahaye. Maybe he's
related to Johnny.
Could be.
Okay.
He could be.
Or Oscar, no?
No, that's Delahaye.
Oh, that's Hoya, yeah.
Yeah, Hoya or something, yeah. No, it's Les's Destiny Star.
Okay, we got there in the end. Les's Destiny Star is Johnny Dineen's eye catcher of the week. It's what's happening this week time here on Upping The Ante, and we've got a Dublin Racing Festival special for you. You going, Johnny?
Yeah. Going, yeah.
Breaking news, Johnny Dineen is at Leopardstown. The crowd is going to swell.
And some are Sunday, some parts on Sunday, yeah.
Some?
Yeah.
What do you mean some at Sunday?
I might go home early, you know, we'll see. But I'm going Saturday, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
But so you'll be there on Sunday, but you might leave early.
Well, yeah, we'll see, yeah. I'll be there some part of Sunday, all right, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't anticipate waiting all day long, but I'll watch a few races maybe on the way home, you know.
Okay. Anyway, this is our preview, and we're going to kick off, as ever, with the Nathaniel Lacey and Partner Solicitors Novice Hurdle, Grade 1, over 2 miles 6, and Predator's Gold is your hot favourite, Johnny Dean. We're going to preview the 8 Grade 1s, by the way. 8 Grade 1s, we're going to preview them here. Fast and Furious, Johnny Dineen.
Right.
What wins the Nathaniel Lacey and Partner Solicitors Novice Hurdle?
I was looking, I think I said a few weeks ago, it was one of the questions, a bit of value for that meet. There was Predators go up 7-1. No, it's only 2-1, is it?
Yeah.
It's very,
Tops.
very skinny now. Lachlan is in it. Like these are going to be deep races. Like when you see the actual decks, you'll be saying, Jesus, fair.
Do you think there probably might be any value this time in the week, kind of, because the markets have been formed a little while?
I think 2-1 Predators Gold is quite short.
Yeah.
I presume you'll have the assistance of Paul Townend, which is massive in these races, because I think he won't get too many races wrong up here, I guarantee anyway. When the time comes.
I think he's good at picking them, the right ones.
I think whoever's telling him to pick, or whether he's picking them himself or whatever, he lands in the.
He could have 3 or 4 in each race to pick from.
Yeah,
really.
obviously the fellas down there must have an idea and they must be guiding him in some way. But whoever's telling him, or maybe he's picking them himself, yeah, he seems to land on the right one. He should do too. Like, I mean, the stable jockey should be on the right horse. So, like, it's not a case of like put 4 into a hat and pick out and say, Paul, you're riding this. You know what I mean? The stable jockey should be on the right horse invariably. So, look, if he's the right horse, and I expect he is looking at the betting, he'd probably be taking a bit of beating. But at 2-1, I think I'd leave him.
Okay. I agree with you, and I think he probably will end up being on the right ones. But like with him, just say Predators Gold is so short. A horse that I don't think, well, I think it has a chance, but I think it'll run really well is Lecky Watson, because I think this trip, stepping up a little bit in trip, I'm not sure he's an out and out dour stayer, and he does so much wrong. He's a horse that I just like. I think he's the potential to run really big in this race. Whether he can beat a Predators Gold or not, I don't know. But 10-1 each way about Lecky Watson, I thought was fair enough.
Yeah, no, look, there will be the odd surprise here too. Of course there will. Okay. You know what I mean? And they say there will be bubbles bursting and reputations
tarnished.
Or strengthened as well, probably, as well at the same time.
Okay.
Certain races.
So Predators Gold for Johnny in the opener and Lecky Watson each way for me. Moving on to the Spring Juvenile Hurdle. I have a sneaky suspicion. I said this after Christmas. I think Cargese or Cargese, or whatever way you want to pronounce it, I thought she ran a massive race. Now, it probably mightn't be good enough. I thought she ran a massive race in the Grade 2 over at Leopardstown over Christmas. I thought she did so much wrong under Danny Mullen. Still got herself into a challenging position and still was the closest to Cala Conti at the line. Now, whether that's good enough or not, I don't know. Stormheart could be anything. Salvatore Mundi could run here. Bunting is in here. But I think Cargese or Cargese is definitely more talented than she showed at Christmas. I think she'll run a massive race here.
Yeah, look, 4-year-olds, and you're trying to judge them on the back of one run, and it's not that easy, or 1 or 2 runs maybe. You're trying to judge the likes of Stormheart on the back of one run, Bunting the same. Cargese only ran once in Ireland, did it? Yeah, Cala Conti is a bit more experienced than some of these. Like, I think as regards winning the Triumph Hurdle, I'd be surprised if Cala Conti in that kind of form line is good enough when the time comes. Cargese is probably smart horse. This is a race now, like, where he may not be on the right horse, I think, because you're probably judging horses on the back of one.
He got it wrong last year.
Did he? Yeah.
He did. Do you know what he rode in this race last year? The idiot. The idiot.
What was that?
How could he ride her? And she was beaten.
Lassie Mout, is it?
He rode Lassie
Oh,
Mout.
yeah, that's right, yeah. I remember that, yeah. That should have won too, obviously. But look, it's a race, I think
that was a joke, by the way.
It's a trappy one.
In case they're wondering, it was a
Salvatore Mundi's an unknown too, so that's thrown into the mix as well.
But it is a pointless race because Triumph Hurdle is over according to you. Sergino wins it. There's no point in running this race.
Well, I mean, there's nice prize money for this kind of race. Actually, look, I've been wrong before a few times.
Have you, Johnny?
Every now and then. Listen, I don't know. Maybe Salvatore Mundi. Maybe there'll be something come out of this to press Sergino. It'll want to be impressive though at the same time, won't it? Look, I don't think Stormheart won a no race at the same time. I mean, it won an absolute no race in Punchestown, and it's very hard to see. I couldn't take 13-8 or 6-4 in the race like this anyway.
Okay, moving on to the Goffs Irish Arkle, and this, get some popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. This could be the race of the weekend. We could, fingers crossed, see Marine Nationale versus Gaelic Warrior, the 2 best novice chasers in Ireland or England, without any shadow of a doubt, taking each other on here. I think it's going to happen. Do you?
It looks that way looking at the betting, yeah. Very much so looking at the betting is going to happen, yeah.
I fancy Gaelic Warrior, but more about that later on in the show. Who do you fancy?
At the odds, I think they're betting about right. I do think there is a chance that
they'll surely get very close together in the market near the time. There's the uncertainty around Gaelic Warrior is why he's so big in the market. Surely, you don't think they'll be close to joint favourites at the off?
Yeah, I suppose if Mullins is an immovable force, isn't he? Like really in these races, so Yeah, look, what's it? 4 to 7, 5 to 2. It could be. It finish up. It could finish up 4 to 5,
4 to 5,
13 to 7 to 4. Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
What side are you on?
I tell you, do you know what I like about the Dublin Racing Festival? To me, it was a bit like last week. I didn't have that many bets because I don't have huge opinions in these races. I'd be more inclined to have an opinion in a race in a normal day of the week. I think these are real like trial races for Cheltenham, and I don't have a huge opinion as regards who'd win. I would maybe go with Marine National, but
Okay.
I certainly I don't think I'll have a bet in the race, to be honest.
Okay, the Paddy Power Irish Gold Cup is the feature race on day 1 of the Dublin Racing Festival.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a small field, isn't it? Definitely.
Well, Gentleman's Game is not running, Jerry Colomb is not running.
Yeah.
So you're into basically round 4, is it, or round 5 of Fast or Slow versus Gallop in the Champs?
Is it round 5? It has round 4, it says.
It could be round 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Gallop in the Champs beat him in the Durkin last year.
Yeah, it's round 3 according to Martin Brazel, isn't it? He thinks it's 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0, yeah. He's 2-0 up, yeah.
He wasn't counting John Durkin as any kind of a race last year.
He got the away goals, yeah.
Look, the way Gallop in the Champs ran at Christmas, if he puts up that kind of an effort, you couldn't see anything getting near.
No bet race for you?
No, again, another watch race. I'm watching quite a few. I wouldn't be having too many bets at this meeting at all now.
Yeah.
With the way there's no edge in the prices as such. You know what I mean? I don't think there is anyway. 2's on 11 to 4. That's the way they were betting. So they'd probably bet 4 to 9. There'll be nothing else in the race.
Would you have any interest in backing Gallop in the Champs at 1 to 2?
Look, I would back skinny ones, but rarely at them in a chase.
When they're taking on good horses?
Even in a chase.
Okay.
I'd rather back one in a hurdle than in a chase at 2 to 5 now, to be honest, you know?
Okay, yeah, very hard to oppose Gallop in the Champs in the Irish Gold Cup on Saturday. Moving on to Sunday, Johnny, and we'll kick off with the Tatterstalls Ireland Novice Hurdle.
Is that Ballybourne's race?
That I think so.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
it depends, yeah.
Yeah, it's
He's entered in 2 of them,
It's the 2 mile race, isn't it?
2 mile race, yeah.
Look, again, I fancy him. He was 2 to 1. Remember I said there a few weeks, he's limited to 10 now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, again, the value has gone out of him.
I just watched that maiden hurdle from Christmas again. There was something properly sexy about what he did from the second last to the turn in. I don't know if it was the camera angle, but he went from being like a length up to 5 or 6 lengths up in like split second stuff.
Yeah. Like what amazes me with him is that Cleotis Pula could come out and win a race.
Yeah.
Like it must have bet that.
I love the way you pronounce your P-O. P-O. Poop. Give us a, what's his name?
Cleotis Pula, is it? Pula.
Okay.
Look, like that beat it, like even Apples of Brazil didn't look a bad horse in bumpers, did it? Like, you know what I mean? And it beat it 50 lengths, didn't it? Like, I don't know what it beat it by, but I fancy Ballybourne. I do. I think he'll win. But will I back him at 11 to 10? I'd say probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. Now, saying that, I don't really... This is not a bad contest at the same time. Do you know what I mean? There's good horses in this race, but I do fancy him, and he will be towning again, I presume. So, but he's not great value at 11 to 10. There might be better bets at other meetings than backing him at 11 to 10 or even money. You know?
Perfect. Moving on to the Ladbrokes Novice Chase. I suppose we don't really know exactly we're thinking that Gaelic Warrior is going to show up over 2 mile 1. So over this 2 mile 5 trip, we could see Fact to File. This
is really good. Look. Like, I'd say Facile Vega will run here, won't he? By the looks of it.
Okay.
Fact to File. I'd say Corpus Cross might go to that Silly Isles race, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Was it Grange Clare West in this?
Yeah, he's in it. Yeah. He's entered anyway.
Yeah. This is a hard contest too, isn't it? At the same time. Look, the fact that I put up Fact to File for Cheltenham, like I suppose you can't really go against them here.
You can if you want. Change your mind, Johnny.
Yeah, and I'm not going to, but will I back him on the day? I guess I won't. Same time, you know. But I'd be kind of half hoping he wins. But I think, again, there's no huge edge in the prices, I don't think, anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, okay.
I'd be going with Fact to File, but like, on form, he has a bit to do with it.
It's a Facile Vega just turned into this unpredictable, you just don't know what to expect, like.
Yeah, look, I mean, the fact that it's a bad sign, I think, he's in this 2 mile and 5 race, that they didn't even persist with running him in the...
Well, we don't know, he's in the other one as well, isn't he?
Well, he's any price you like for the other one, and he's only 5 to 1 for this, and it's the same. Looking at the betting, and I presume they know what they're doing. There's Gaelic Warrior will definitely go 2 mile and Facile Vega 2.5.
Okay, so you're just about Fact to File.
Just about Fact to File, without wanting to have any money on it at the same time.
Okay, so obviously Fact to File will be Mark Walsh, and could be Facile Vega Townend, so be interesting to see.
Yeah, maybe so,
okay. Moving on to the Ladbrokes Dublin Chase. This should be short and sweet. El Fabiolo?
Yeah, El Fabiolo should win, barring accidents, that should
I'd say you could back him now of the shorties?
No, as I said, it's in a
Too
chase.
short.
Too short.
Would you prefer to back El Fabiolo at his price, similar price to Galloping the Champs? Who would you think is more bulletproof, Galloping the Champs or El Fabiolo?
Probably El Fabiolo, but the ground, or not the ground, the jumps are more of a hindrance to El Fabiolo than the other one. The other one won't fall, but there's less. El Fabiolo has less to beat.
Before.
Galloping the Champ, did he fall?
Oh, I think he did. Yeah, a bit of a high-profile fall as well. Bob Ollinger when he beat him.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. I was trying to picture the mistake that he made and fell.
He jumped the crate.
Yeah. No. Look, you wouldn't have said he's a pretty safe conveyance anyway. Okay. And maybe there might be fall. There won't be falling in El Fabiolo against lower opposition at the same time. More than likely not. So look,
one horse we haven't spoke about yet in the show is John Bon.
Right.
Is John Bon now busted flush?
Oh, not at all.
So do you think, are you a bit like me here, where you kind of see a 9-2 or 4-1? Is he now the bet in the champion chase?
Look, it'll be interesting to see how El Fabiolo goes, and if he puts in I still think he's worth a stab at 9-2, John Bon. Yeah, I do. I wouldn't be too pushed. Like if he didn't injure himself last week.
Well, they showed a video of him in 7 Bar was the following morning and said, we're delighted, everything is perfect. And they were really worried because it looked like he could have picked up an injury with that fall.
Well, look, look, John Bon to me anyway will be ridden completely differently in Cheltenham. John Bon will be in front at the water jump in Cheltenham. The other day they were obviously trying to give him as easy race as possible, and he could have sent him on any time he liked. If he was told you can ride him any way you like, he'd have been 20 clear turning in the other day, in my eyes anyway.
Wow.
To me, John Bon will be in front of all those horses at the water jump.
We attempted to put him up today on the show.
No, because I'd be afraid of my life to do the next thing you read he's injured and he's out. You know what I mean? So, but if he turns up on the day and he's strong in the market, like you'll have an idea how uninjured he is by the market. That's usually a good guide. Okay. And if he's strong in the market, I'd be willing to chance him against El Fabiolo.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, excellent. That is John Bon. And the final race we're going to look at, Johnny Dineen, is the Irish Champion Hurdle. So, we have Stateman against Imperial Pass, round 2 of Stateman v Imperial Pass, with Bob Ollinger thrown into the mix, okay? So, Bob Ollinger, 2 from 2 this season, Johnny Dineen, the forgotten superstar of racing at the moment. Kind of Marie's Rock, hammered Marie's Rock at Cheltenham on New Year's Day. Marie's Rock came out and won at the weekend. How shocked would you be, on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? How shocked would you be, 1 being not shocked at all, 10 being gobsmacked. On a scale of 1 to 10, how shocked would you be if Bob Ollinger won this race by 5 or 6 lengths, with Stateman second, another 5 and 6 lengths back to Imperial Pass in third?
I don't think I'd even answer that. You joke me.
Could it happen?
Not an absolute zillion that is now.
Is it?
That couldn't happen. Could
it? No, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just wondering. But is there a possibility that Bob Ollinger's the forgotten horse at this race?
I don't think so.
No chance.
Sure, Bob Ollinger, he doesn't even have any form over 2 miles even for starters. You know what I mean? Sure, the last time I'd say he ran over 2 miles, he was beaten by Fernie Hollow. Was he down going in the maiden hurdle?
Yeah, that's good form.
Yeah, it's good enough form, but Stateman looks to be like bomb-proof, doesn't he? Like Stateman looks to me like you put him in these races and he just wins them.
Yeah.
He just wins them.
He's like you every week, Johnny. Just turns up,
yeah.
You guaranteed the crack, guaranteed, like, you just never let us down.
No,
he never lets you down.
I don't know. I think Stateman will beat Imperial Pass. He beat him the last. I think it's a bit like Stateman in running against Vauban. He beat him nearly every time, didn't he?
It's a bit like this track and theatre world, really, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I don't know. It's a bit like Hurricane Flying Saw, but he just once the man got a hang of him, couldn't get near him ever again. And Stateman will beat Imperial Pass every day he runs, and I think Bob Ollinger will do well to be third in this race.
Do you?
I do. I think it's a different race completely now. I think like Marie's Rock farm is okay. She won the other day, and that got some ride. Marie's Rock in Doncaster. Do you know that? By that young fella Bowen.
James Bowen.
Oh, he was fantastic on it. How he kept her interested anyway, and actually eventually got her to put her best foot forward. Jeez, I thought he was. Now fellas are criticising over his ride in John Bon, but look. Okay. Some
mad weekend from, wasn't it? You went from Sergino to John Bon.
Yeah.
And then
to be fair, the horse threw himself at a fence too, didn't he, John Bon? You know what I mean? And look, maybe he hadn't jumped well before that. Another article I was reading where Henderson was saying that with a horse like John Bunn, even that week, and that doesn't seem like a lot to.
Oh, I agree. It makes a difference
to human beings, and that looking and saying, "No, it's only a week later."
Well, that's what I said about El Fabiolo to Willie. I said it's obviously not ideal, the 2-week break between the Clarence House and this.
Look, I don't know. But I'll go back to Bob Allinger anyway. I think he's going to be out of his depth here.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if he's not. Anyway,
Yeah, obviously.
you know,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's Statement for you.
Oh, all the way, yeah, Statement.
Could you back Statement?
Depending
What's
on
the shortest price win bet you've ever had? Shortest price, like as in the real low stuff now. How short have you gone in the past? Just not laying a horse, but just backing a horse. How short have you gone? Have you gone 1 to 3?
I would have had, and shorter, yeah, I would have had, yeah, absolutely.
Did it win?
I'd say back the few days, it didn't win either. No,
Would you?
Yeah, it did. But
You could back Statement though, could you?
Of
all the shorties at the weekend, is he the one that you would
one
back?
thing I learned, I'm not mad about betting them in chases at 3 to 1 on.
Yeah, you told us that, yeah.
I do. I learned that a long time ago now.
But of all the shorties at Leopardstown this weekend, is Statement the most bulletproof of them all?
I would have thought so. Yeah. I mean, if he seems to turn up every time, and if
Okay.
he does, he'll win.
Okay, there you go. That's anything else in the handicaps that you kind of like?
I tell you, I didn't get a chance to look at the handicaps yet, and there were so many in a minute that I was only going to look at them when the decks. There's no point looking at handicaps for horses that mightn't even turn up.
Okay, there you go. That's our Dublin Racing Festival preview. It's time for Johnny Dineen's midweek treat now, and the old treat didn't just go according to plan last week at Gore Park.
The
Devil's Coachman, you said if he couldn't win that,
Yeah,
JB could live him down
He
there.
ran bad, didn't he?
I said I'd collect him, so he's in my backyard now.
Okay.
I wish.
Jeez, he ran terrible. But you know what? And I did back him. But one thing a pal of mine always says, and it's, when the stables out of form, they'd break you. They would. You know, when if it is not having winners, and it's a bit like Noel Mead. I just looked before there. 2 months without a winner, and that's any winner.
Is he?
He's 2 months without, and that's the all-weather.
Is he?
Yeah, he's had no winner in 2 months.
You're joking.
Yeah. And there's another man who's a great trainer, Colin Murphy. I said he had a winner in 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and so when these stables get these little bugs and things, they find it hard to get rid of them, and their horses just do not. Like Colin Murphy
Has Noel Mead really not had a winner in 2 months?
He hasn't had a winner in 2 months, and
I'd say that's never happened in his whole career.
That was in Dundalk as well. So his last jumps winner is even before that. Wow. Because I did check it.
I know he's more flat than jumps now, but
I did check it before backing him because I said Noel Mead does not have many winners, and the next day I saw like 59 days or something. No, that was a week ago, so it's gone into the 66s now anyway. You know what I mean? And. But Colin Murphy, I was looking at his the other day. He had a runner in the in the Thyestes. It was 180 days or something since he had a winner. And like he a proper trainer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but just when them stables are out of form, and when small stables hit form, they're the times to back him. So I did back him, and he ran. Like, just see him going over the line.
Yeah,
he could not put a foot in front of the other. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was fellas are saying he didn't get the trip, but I wouldn't even that. I don't know. Sure, he turned in, you'd say you'd be happy enough.
Yeah, all of them had a chance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but Monkfish.
Could he win a stairs hurdle?
Who?
Monkfish.
Not a hope. But Monkfish, if they went another furlong, would have won from there to Grange Con, wouldn't he? Like, do you know what I mean? He won. He jumped the last nearly level, I'd say.
Yeah.
Won about say 6 or 8 lengths.
Yeah.
And if they went another furlong, would have won 30.
Yeah.
But I never in my life see a horse to go over the line like the Devil's Coachman.
Yeah. No.
He was like absolutely unconscious.
It's like us after having our lunch. Can't get out the door.
Yeah.
Right. So that's Devil's Coachman's gone. New week.
Yeah,
what have you got for us this week?
I went with the horse. I couldn't find much this week in the middle of the week. The racing in England is poor. Like Wednesday, Thursday. There's no Irish meeting on Thursday for some reason. I don't know. So I had to go to Dundalk.
Oh, be the Lord.
Yeah.
Dundalk. We're on the all-weather.
I got, and it's short, but it'll win though. Mint Boy.
Mint Man.
Mint Man, is that his name?
Mint Man.
Mint Boy
is Gavin Cromwell.
Yeah. Mint Man in the first race tomorrow. So you get an early date.
1:30.
1:30. Kick off. It's a 6 furlong race.
Yeah.
Against that's second favourite cross-border. It's like it's a serial loser, isn't it? Like's been second and third, and it's rated 82. That'll be good enough to win this, I'd say.
Okay, so Mint Man.
Mint Man, yeah.
Mint Man, 1:30. Dundalk on Wednesday is Johnny Dineen's midweek treat. So it's charity bet time here on Upping The Ante. Yes, it's DJ versus JD, where we try and make some much needed funds for our chosen charities. So last week Johnny Dineen had a winner with Gidley Park. Bet365 gave you even money, so right. 50 quid at even money, well done. puts you almost level. You're minus €75. Scarface didn't run for me in the novice handicap chase on Saturday, so I'm still minus 125. So you have a €50 lead, Johnny Dineen.
Right, okay.
What have you got for us this week? Look for 2 in a row.
Yeah, I'm going to chance, I'm assuming he's running. I'm going to go with Corbett's Cross in the Scilly Isles Novice Chase.
One of mine.
Yeah, in Sandown on Saturday.
You don't like Hermes Allen?
No, I just think Hermes Allen is beatable at that kind of level, and I do think that the Irish novice chasers will probably be better than the English ones when the time comes. It looks that way to me anyway.
Okay.
So one of the horses that's near the top of the pecking order in Ireland will beat the ones in England. Like, I can't have the likes of Jello in this race anyway. No, do you know what I mean? I don't know. And I can't have that horse that won in Weatherby belonged to Snowden. Colin Harry. That has no chance of beating the horse of
Leopardstown, Grade 1 winner at the track.
I couldn't have that in my mind. That beat Colin Harry. That kind of form won't be up to this level. If this horse puts in a round of jumping, the proper round of jumping.
Yeah, he needs to jump quicker, doesn't he?
He does, yeah, he does. He does actually. I do fancy him though. I'd fancy him fairly strongly too. I would know. Look, I don't think Hermes Allen is a horse that... He's not a bad horse, Hermes Allen, don't get me wrong. But I think he's a horse that you wouldn't be afraid of at the top level at the same time, or anything close to being afraid of him, in my opinion. Look, he's a good horse, like, but I think so is Corbett's Cross, probably a better one.
Okay.
I'll chance him anyway.
Okay, so Corbett's Cross for Johnny Dineen is his charity bet, and I'm going to the Dublin Racing Festival, the first race at Leopardstown on Sunday at 12:40. It's the Paddy Mullins Mares Handicap Hurdle, and I am pretty sweet on Foxy Girl for Henry de Bromhead and Rob Corr. 2 mile 2 is the trip. Okay, the minute this horse ran, it was very well fancied for a handicap hurdle at the December meeting, the Winter Festival at Fairy House, the big Drimmore meeting, and it was a mess of a handicap hurdle. Do you remember the race? It was everything found trouble almost between the second last and the last. Got hampered, got no sort of run. But I don't think she's a 2 miler. I'm not sure she's a 2.5 miler. I think this is perfect trip. 2 mile 2, a mark of 125. I thought she ran really well in the Mares Novice Hurdle at Cheltenham last year. She wasn't beaten that far. She was a little bit, I think she went off 13-2, so she was well fancied. But I think a mark of 125 underestimates her. I thought she ran well in her handicap debut at Down Royal, at the meeting there, at the Champion Chase meeting at Down Royal. And I still think she's unexposed. 2 mile 2, perfect, Leopardstown. Ground should be ideal. So Foxy Girl in the 12:40 at Leopardstown on Sunday is my charity bet. Hopefully we'll get the double up, Johnny.
Absolutely, yeah. You never know.
You never know. I think I do know. I think we probably won't.
I would like to be too much on it at the same time.
There you go. That's this week's charity bets in DJ versus JD. So it's festival teams time here on Upping The Ante, where myself and Johnny Dineen try and pick something that's going to win for you at the 2024 Cheltenham Festival. So Johnny, you promised us one this week. You've had none the last 2 weeks.
No, I said after the Dublin Racing Festival. Did I?
Oh, right.
No, maybe I said after last week, but I'm going to leave it till after Dublin Racing Festival.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
So I'll have 4 or 5 weeks then to pick one each week. So
okay.
I have a few in my mind, but some of them are going to be real short now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like for a fella that's like will want to be prepared to back skinny price favourites in Cheltenham this year on the looks of things, won't they? Because there's plenty of them.
Yeah, there is. Okay, so Johnny, you'll never guess what. I have 2 this week.
Oh, good man. Yeah, that's not too bad.
You have 2, okay.
Well,
look,
that makes up for me and I have it.
Yeah, well, look, it's just the timing of them, I think. Okay, so the first one we spoke about earlier in the show. I think now this week is the time to back Gaelic Warrior for the Arkle. He's a short price favourite for the Turners, but in my head, I'm trying to read Willie Mullins, which is probably a stupid thing to do because Willie Land, has a population of 1, and that's Willie Mullins. We don't know what he's going to do, but I think this weekend it looks as though we're getting to the stage where Gaelic Warrior is going to run against Marine National and the Irish Arkle, okay? And it's a big if, obviously, but I think, in my opinion, I don't think there's a novice chaser in training that can beat Gaelic Warrior over any trip on any track. Now, obviously, if it was the other way around, you'd imagine Gaelic... If this race was at, wherever, if it was at Punchestown or Limerick or wherever, you'd imagine Gaelic Warrior would probably be favoured even. It's 2 mile 1 Leopardstown. And I'm willing to take the chance. I know he jumps out to his right, but I'm willing to take his chance, that raw ability. I know Marine National does everything right, but Gaelic Warrior to me just might be a freak. And I'm willing to take a chance at the freak. And I think if he wins this weekend, we could have a short price favourite for the Arkle. And then Willie Mullins has Gaelic Warrior for the Arkle. He could potentially have the likes of Factifile for the Turners, or he's a couple of possibilities for that race. Then you've got Grange Clare West for the Brown Advisory, and then you've got Embassy Gardens, Nick Rocket for National Chase. So I'm just wondering, will he spread out his chasers that way? And I think Gaelic Warrior, look, I think he's an exceptional horse. I know he does plenty wrong, but he's got a huge engine. He takes so many horses out of their comfort zone. And I think Gaelic Warrior v Marie Nationale is going to be an absolute corker at Leopardstown on Saturday. So 10-1, the bet boost with Bet365. Gaelic Warrior is my latest selection for the Arkle. It's going to be or bust. Isn't it? It's all.
Now, I like the way you said now is the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now is it.
Well, it's now or never. It's now or never, because he either goes and wins on Saturday, or he doesn't.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's it. It reminds me of do you know your man, the fella Claude, the fella from Arsenal. Did you ever see that video?
Yeah.
It's time to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Time to go. Now is the time to go. I just 10-1 is like, if he did happen to win, as I said, it's a big.
That's what Ante-Post is all about. Because if you have a bet Ante-Post, if they don't win their next race, you're in trouble.
Absolutely. So Gaelic Warrior 10-1, and I'm adding a second selection this week, and it's in a handicap, Johnny. Obviously, we don't have weights or entries or anything like that, but I think now might be the time to back. Let's be clear about it for the plate. Was third in the 3-mile novice chase, the Grade 3 at Naas on Sunday. Look, he was a little bit disappointing, to be honest with you, but I didn't think he was, I don't think he's a strong stayer over that trip. Maybe, I think 2.5 miles is his trip. 2 mile 5, the play course on the new course at Cheltenham could be perfect, and he's going to go into the race with loads of experience. He was very impressive on his first start over fence at Gorham Park. Then he was brilliant at Cork. Was beaten by Found a 50 and I Am Maximus then in the Drimmore, where he traded very short and running. Then he went over 2 mile 1 in the Dammoor at Fairy House, where he didn't jump as well as he can. And then he's had the run over 3 miles. So I just think that's the right race for him. I think Gavin Cromwell is a terrific target trainer. And I think if he gets him there cherry ripe, in the type of form he showed when he won at Cork earlier on in the season, a little bit of better ground I think could suit him. And he ran a cracker in the Albert Bartlett last year. Just go back and have a look. He ran an absolute corker, so he did, against good horses in the Albert Bartlett. So I think he's going to be running off, in around 150. I think 20-1 is a big price with Bet365, and I don't think he's going to be 20-1 on the day. I think he could be a single figure price.
Yeah, he's a strong traveller anyway. Yeah, I mean, as I said, it all depends on the weights and things. It's a long way away, but yeah,
you can poo-poo this tip if you want.
No, he has a chance. I'd say, he's a horse that more likely to win a handicap than a Grade 1 race anyway, isn't he? And he is a good, solid horse. Yeah. Okay,
so 20-1. Let's be clear about it. For the plate, added to Gaelic Warrior at 10-1 for the Arkle are my 2 latest selections on my Cheltenham Festival team. So that is it, folks. That is it for episode 13. Hopefully, it's not unlucky for us here on Upping The Ante. I never asked you, how was your weekend last weekend? Any matches?
We had one match on a Saturday, but just normal. I was betting Saturday, so I think I won over the weekend.
I never asked you.
Yeah, I did.
How did you get on?
I actually did win this weekend.
I noticed the way you brought that up there all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have brought it up if you lost.
No, I wouldn't. It's the first weekend. I think I won the first weekend. I won this week, but I'm still slightly behind now.
Are you for 2024?
Yeah, not much now, but a slow start. But look, there's always next week.
What's usually your best month?
Actually, you could have a good month any month, or a bad month any month.
There's
no, there isn't.
Not
for me, there's not anyway. No, obviously, if I have bad months, and this doesn't affect me at all. I've had great Januaries, terrible ones, good Decembers, terrible ones. You know what I mean? And it's the same with tracks. Fellas saying you couldn't back a winner here and you couldn't back a winner there. I don't read into that at all anyway. I've had some great days and good in tracks. I've also had some terrible days in the same track. So
okay.
I do think though that the flat racing for me, I tend to be a lot more cautious, and it probably helps my betting.
Okay.
That I'm not inclined to have as many bets, and I draw a line through a rake of races on the flat. So I think that it helps to narrow it down. Okay. So if there's 6 meetings across the England and Ireland of a Saturday, I'd only look at about 5 or 6 or 7, you know what I mean? And then maybe whittle it down again.
Races, you mean?
Yeah, with races, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm talking about out of the 6 or 7 meetings, you know what I mean? Whereas if that was a jumps scenario, you could be left with 20 possibles, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you'd probably finish up having too many bets.
Okay, perfect. Any matches for the kids this weekend?
They played, yes. But I won't be around because I'm coming.
You're in Leopardstown?
Saturday and Sunday, yeah. So I'll be getting them lifts anyway at the weekend anyway. So
will that be hard now arranging them to get
No, because I usually drive other fellas, so like it's
You're
not
cashing in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So look, I don't miss many of the young fellas' games now.
How did they get on last weekend?
Oh, hammered. But they're playing the best team in the league now, but they were mangled at the same time.
What was the score?
It was 6-0, I think, right? but the ref blew up with 20 minutes to go.
Oh, no, I don't like that. Don't like that.
A sympathy vote.
Don't like that.
But
What age is this? Under what?
17, but we the men sent off as well. It was only going to get worse, like, you know what I mean?
And he blew it up early.
He did,
You were
yeah.
delighted.
Well, yeah, I was, because I went to I was watching it with my phone anyway on the sideline and that. But it was a bad time in the middle of the day. 2 o'clock doesn't really suit me for Saturday. Do you know what I mean?
Blow it up, ref. Blow it up. Blow it up.
Yeah, but look, no, we were ragged now on Saturday, but we knew that going down.
How was it? Did you give him a lift home then?
Yeah.
How was he on the way home?
They wouldn't care. My men wouldn't care.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't care enough, Johnny.
Well, yeah, because he's been given the older fella as the strength and conditioning thing for the Gaelic. Doesn't seem to be part of his plans anyway. I don't think. No, not interested. He'd play all right, but I don't think it's going to be.
Johnny, that movement, I have to say, that had the movement of a fella that never visited the gym before.
No, I've never been in one. And
have you ever been in the gym?
Never in my
life.
No, I've been in it, but I've never been under a gadget or dumbbell. Yeah, or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? I've never been under weights, or I've never done on a treadmill or anything like that.
So why were you in the gym?
Maybe just to see one. We actually have a gym out the back of our house, but I've never been on it. Do you know what I mean? My missus got it, the kids go, and the young one goes on it. But no, I've never been in a gym, and I strongly intend on keeping it that way.
I've a gym at the back of the house, but I've never been in it.
No, I haven't. No. When we got the treadmills and the weights and all that kind of stuff, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a TV in there and it, like so. So I haven't been.
It's for you.
I just there's a couch in there, so you can throw yourself in the couch and watch the telly. But I've never been on the other thing. Look, it doesn't suit me. I'm not interested in that stuff. I'm too old for that anyway. Gym, you're joking me, you are. I was speaking to Jimmy Barry Murphy, one of the greatest hurlers of all time. He told me he was never in the gym in his life.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And he was like top player.
Yeah, like yourself, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm no good at anything, but you know what I'm saying? But I don't just in gym, joking me, you are. But you go to the gym.
Oh, I do. Well, not by the look of me.
But isn't that boring, though, isn't it? Like,
sure, of course it is, yeah. But it's something you have to do.
As far as I can see, anyway, fellas go down to the gym, they're looking for birds, aren't they? Like, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Instead of going to a pub, like, we go down to the gym, give us an old flex of the muscles, and hopefully there's one. You know what I mean? I think the gym is the new pub, as far as I'm concerned, isn't it? Like, that's the way it looks to me, anyway. Same with, I don't know. Look, as I said now, I won't be in them anyway. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, there you go. You won't find Johnny Dineen in a gym this week, that's for sure. But you will find him at Leopardstown because he'll be there both days, although not all of Sunday, just for a while on Sunday. Yeah. But he'll definitely be there on Saturday. And that is it. That is episode 13 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365. We'll be back same time, same place next week, 6 o'clock every Tuesday. I've been David Jennings. He's been Johnny Dineen. Thanks for watching Upping The Ante.